So it's a lot of fun being back in Atlanta. This is the first time I've been here for 10 years. It's been
10 years.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, I used to come here for the Windows World and all that fun stuff. So who are you guys?
I'm Scott Gibson. I'm the Director of Product Management for Jungle Disk, and I get to work with a lot of great people to figure out what the next great thing that Jungle Disk is going to do.
Yeah. And who are you?
I'm Adam Preppel. I'm a software developer here at Jungle Disk, and I kind of do like application level work with an emphasis on the Mac, and do some back-end stuff as well.
Yeah. So what is Jungle Disk? Let's just
go that direction.
Yeah.
Well, simply stated, Jungle Disk is secure online file storage and backup. So we have a suite of 4 products that meet the needs of individuals, small teams, and small companies that vary in size from 2 to about 100 people. And we help people securely store their data online.
Yeah. What's happening in the backup space? Because I hear about all these other startups, and I know you guys don't like talking about competitors, but do give me a sense of what's happening in the space. What are the different kinds of backup systems that are out there right now, and how does Jungle Disk fit into that marketplace? Well, give me a sense of the marketplace.
Sure. The good news is people are finally starting to get smart about doing backups, and I think the challenges that the biggest challenge that we've seen were small businesses, that need to protect their data. And a lot of the solutions that were out there previous to us were either very difficult to use, very cumbersome, very expensive, more importantly. So the one great thing that the Jungle Disk does is we bring a very cost-effective solution to small businesses because, as you know, data is becoming more important and more important to businesses to make sure that they don't mess up their operations. So. And Jungle Disk is a great way for those organizations to protect that data.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the principle of backup first of all.
Sure.
Because you really need 3 copies of your data, right?
Well, the thing that's frustrating to us is, like I said, businesses aren't backing up their data, and if they are, a lot of them are backing up locally, so they're using tape backup or redundant multiple hard drives. And the challenge becomes, well, that's great as long as your company doesn't get broken into and your company doesn't burn down or a natural disaster, Katrina. Things like that,
theft even.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's why I'm saying why you need three copies of your data, right? You need the data on the machine you're using.
Exactly.
Or if you're using cloud, you need that. You need a copy so that you can get to it right away, right? So if a virus hits your computer or your hard drive goes dead, my hard drive died one day, just died.
You're not alone.
Right in the middle of using your computer, the hard drive dies and boom, gone, and your machine locks up, and you have to go to Apple or Dell or whoever and get a new hard drive and start over, right?
Right. Businesses will try to say, well, we're gonna make a copy of the hard drive, we're gonna store it off-site, and inevitably people just don't pay attention, don't do that. So that's kind of where Jungle Disk comes in. Is we are that ultimate remote safe storage to protect your data, so you don't have to worry about the local versions getting wiped out.
What makes you guys the best way to back something up?
Well, I'll probably let Adam talk a little bit about our new technology. We actually just recently launched with our server edition product the concept of backup vaults, and that really goes a long way to be more of an enterprise solution. So.
What is a backup vault? What does that mean?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of tiny bit of background. A lot of the people, there are a lot of applications out there that will back up to Amazon S3 and such, and the way that a lot of them do it is very similar to the way that we originally did it, which is you just kind of replicate the file system structure on Amazon. So you have individual files out there on the cloud. But the problem with this is that usually the cloud APIs don't allow you to do things that are really useful, like change a small part of the file. So you have a database or whatever, you change one record, re-upload the whole file. So what we've added now is block backup, which it kind of addresses 2 things. It allows you to, you have compression of the data, which is really great, and you have block deduplication. So if you have several copies of the same file, it's kind of a contrived example, but if you have any kind of data that's replicated within your backup set, then we can just see that and only store it one time for you. So it makes it a whole lot faster. It makes it a lot easier to to store the stuff efficiently, and you get more bang for your buck.
And it's cheaper because you're
Exactly.
with Jungle Disk, you're paying per
gigabyte
that you upload, or
Right.
how does that work? How do you get charged?
Yeah, that's the one thing that frustrates us with a lot of our competitors. They kind of go with a tiered model, and unfortunately, when customers are comparing us to other competitors, it's cost X dollars, and I'm getting X gigabytes, and so that equates to 12 cents a gigabyte. Well, that's cheaper than Jungle Disk. Well, the problem with a tiered pricing plan is obviously you're paying for that big chunk, whereas may only use half of it. So that, that's kind of the first thing.
So they might charge you $29.95 for 10 gigabytes or something
exactly.
like that?
So a lot of customers will do that math, but unfortunately, unless you're using right up to that tier, you're going to be paying more.
Right, and most people use a lot less.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, the thing is, you don't have to worry about that. Whether you're storing 5 Word documents or a terabyte of data, you pay exactly for what you use, not a penny more.
Right.
And so if you're using a terabyte of data one week and then you scale down to 500 gigabytes next week, you only pay for what you use, right?
Got it.
And just to kind of add on top of what Adam was saying with our new architecture, the compression fact, it was pretty interesting because we obviously use our own product to back up our own servers, and we saw with some of our database servers about 1/10 to 1/20 of the storage space we're using just because of the compression and deduplication.
Wow.
It was really cool. Like, we had a big launch for 3.0, and a lot of different features coming into it, and one of them was block backup, and I've been working in other areas of the product. So when I finally started trying it out, I was like, holy cow, this is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
one thing I really liked, I found interesting actually about Jungle Disk is you're a Rackspace company. You're owned by Rackspace. We're coworkers, right?
That's pretty cool.
So we should just disclose that. But you guys give customers a choice of Amazon or Rackspace to store your files. Why are you using the competition for the back end?
How did I know that question was going to come? Well, as you may or may not know, Jungle Disk originally started with being an Amazon S3 application. So,
yeah.
The one thing is that we obviously have a lot of customers that are already using Amazon. But to your point, when we were acquired, we actually implemented Cloud Files, which is Rackspace's cloud storage offering. And we decided to continue offering the competitor just because, one, we already had a lot of customers using it, but we really want to be, if you're going to think about cloud storage, regardless of what platform you're using, we want you to think about Jungle Disk.
Can I store the data in both?
Absolutely, and that's a great point.
Because sometimes Amazon goes down, sometimes we go down, and that's a reality of data centers.
Exactly,
they're
right.
Very complex.
So a lot of our enterprise customers will do that. They'll create a backup job that points the data not only to S3 but Rackspace as well. So I think it's our responsibility to make sure that the Cloud Files is the least expensive and more robust option for them.
Yeah.
But we're certainly
Does the pricing change depending on where you're storing it?
It does. Actually, Cloud Files is a flat 15 cents per gigabyte. There's no charge for bandwidth or transaction fees, whereas Amazon is also 15 cents per gigabyte, but they do charge upload and download bandwidth fees.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. What else is happening in your space? What else is going on, and what are you announcing any new products? 'Cause I heard there's some new stuff coming.
Man, I would just love to tell you everything. We're going to share a few things, but I think if we could say on a high level what our kind of vision for 2010 is a couple things. One is usability. We're going to kind of take a hard look at the usability of all of our products and do a much better job of making the product a little more simple to use and a little more straightforward to use. Yeah. And I think the other big push that we're looking for in 2010 is collaboration. There's a lot of exciting things happening, in that realm.
What does that mean? Because backup usually means the file goes up there and you don't use it, right? You
Sure.
don't share that file with anybody, and it's just there as a backup for your real work, which is the collaboration. You're working on a PowerPoint.
Well, Jungle Disk, the current product set is basically just like you said. It does automatic backup, so it pumps your data to the cloud, stores it there for you securely. It also can be used as a network drive, so it's basically an unlimited size hard drive that you have access to, and you can work with that data just like it was a hard drive right in your machine without having to worry about how big the files are or that kind of thing. So what we're looking for as far as collaboration is, we're doing a great job of pumping people's data to the cloud. What we want to help people do is work with that data and collaborate and share with it. So public file sharing is one thing we've been asked a lot about, and being able to expose those files that I'm putting into the cloud to give access to other people.
Now this is interesting because I use a lot of cloud-based services, Google Docs and spreadsheets, Zoho. Sure. Some people use Salesforce, other people use other things, And those things are, if they go down, and they go down once in a while, and, you know, you've seen Google go down for a few minutes, you can't get to your Gmail or get to your spreadsheets. Is there any way to back those up in a way that I could get access to them? If Google goes down, I need access to my presentation or my spreadsheet. You know, is there a way to back it up to another data center? So
the thing that makes it great is sometimes the thing that makes it not so great if it does happen to go down. You know, what we see in a feature that we recently launched is sync, which is, you know, allows you to work with those files. You keep basically a copy of them on your machine, so when you come back online, they can be synced back up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the strategy we look at, you know, when we talk about, you know, whether it goes up.
But you're not trying to back up a Google Docs and spreadsheets onto Jungle Disk so that you have access to that spreadsheet, are you?
No, no, you know,
because that's not the kind of collaboration. Because that is a big problem. That, you know, you're using Google Wave now, or Google Buzz just came out last week, and all this data is going into these systems.
That's right.
And they're not backed up.
That's right. That's right.
You know, if an earthquake hits San Francisco, you ain't gonna get to Twitter for a while.
So again, without saying too much, we recognize that problem. Yeah. We see an opportunity there for us. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that for now.
We'll come back. We'll come back and hear how you're gonna solve that problem.
Right.
But the collaboration you're talking about is actually sharing the file up to the cloud and then letting me share that file with coworkers.
Right.
Say, well, here's my PowerPoint deck. You know, for instance, I backed it up on a Jungle Disk. Oh, and you can get to it on Jungle Disk without having access to my main.
Well, even with our current product, the Workgroup Edition product that we have, so that's really designed at small teams and work groups. And what you can do is, we call them online disks. You think of them as virtual hard drives in space. And so what we do with the Workgroup Edition is you can actually create your own online disk that only you have access to. But you can create another online disk that everybody in your team has access to. So from that standpoint, we already kind of do offer a collaboration component where everybody can share a virtual online disk. Yeah. Well, our vision for collaboration is going to be a lot more of a web-based experience that's going to be able to, for example, to allocate you know, access to a specific set of people to do a specific set of things with those files. And really give people a lot more flexibility with what they're doing with those files, as opposed to just flat out giving people access or not access to a file.
Right. The other part of collaboration that I want is, okay, I'm working on an Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint or a Word doc or whatever, and I'm going to back it up, and then I'm on the road. I didn't bring my laptop with me.
We've said too much already.
No, but
as he's holding his iPhone, waving his iPhone up in the air.
I want my files here because I did that PowerPoint or that Excel spreadsheet on my desktop computer, my Windows 7 computer, or my Macintosh. I backed it up to Jungle Disk. Can I get access here?
Soon you might be able to do that, yes.
Is this an announcement then, or?
Yeah, basically. It is, yeah.
So announce it.
If it's going to push us in that direction.
Because I don't have Jungle Disk on my iPhone today.
Right. So I'll go ahead and show you. I'll show you the proof of the icon that's on my iPhone here.
Okay.
Of course, I've hit all my other icons so people don't know what happened.
Right. So you have Jungle Disk on here.
Yeah. So I think we could probably take you through. But the cool thing about this is it's basically going to give you that same unlimited storage, right on your iPhone. So if you throw a Word doc or an Excel doc on your online disk and you need it on the road, you can pull it up on your iPhone and work with it on your iPhone and gain access. And Adam's kind of the brains behind our iPhone app. I don't know if you want to.
Very cool. Yeah, let me know what you're trying to do with it.
Just right now we're starting out kind of basic, making sure we have the core functionality really solid. So you can you can browse your online disks, you can view files, you can upload pictures and stuff like that. So just kind of making it a way so you can access everything, and you can, personally, I think being able to toss photos on there is pretty useful. Good.
Do you transcode PowerPoint? Does that show up on the iPhone?
You can view it. Yeah,
you can view it.
Yeah, so I have
because there are some file types that can't be viewed on the iPhone, right?
Things like Flash.
Yeah, Flash can't be, or what other kinds of things do people back up? All sorts of
Excel
stuff.
spreadsheet is one thing I pull up Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah,
but you can view that. But
right.
like a database, let's say, if you had an Access database or something.
So you're not trying to transcode that database into a format the iPhone can see.
No.
Okay. That's future. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get some requests.
The really cool thing was my wife, just the other day, she had taken some photos. She was like, "Well, how do I get my photos to my computer?"
Yeah.
And I want to send them to friends. And you can go through and you can email them to yourself, and that's one way. But the cool thing is there's a little feature in there. You can hit the picture icon, you pop it up, you can browse your photos, and then you can store and save your photos right. And then, of course, I have a sync folder right on her computer, and it pops right on her desktop. So
that's interesting, because I have hundreds of photos in here, and I don't think I've backed up my iPhone for a while, because I don't tether it all the time.
Right.
So I can do wireless backing up of photos.
Right. So when you
can I back them all up? Just say back up all my photos, or just hit all? Upload all photos.
Right now it's one at a time, but that is an excellent.
It's one at a time.
Yeah.
This is our version 1.0. This is going to give you access to your files and your folders, and then of course being able to store individual files and folders as well. But lots of great things to come in version 2.0. I'm sure.
And can I upload videos from here as well?
Yeah.
Because I take a lot of videos of my kid. Because I always have my iPhone with me, and I don't always have my 5D. My 5D is a lot sharper, but a lot of times my kid's doing something cute, and I have my iPhone. I take a picture or video of it, and it's really useful. Mm-hmm. Well, very cool. When's that going to come out, do you think? Because it's hard to predict, because Apple.
It's kind of in the hands of Mr. Jobs, I guess.
Yeah. I'll talk to their team and
that's
make
right.
sure
So
that they
pull some strings for us. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Might pull it too fast. But in the next couple of weeks, it'll be available in the iTunes store. Is it going to be a free app, or is it going to?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's included in you just pay for the upload.
Exactly.
Awesome. Absolutely. And it's called Jungle Disc. So you just search the iTunes store.
I don't know. We may have to come up with some kind of clever name, but for right now, we're just going to call it Jungle Disc.
I'm sure if you search for Jungle Disc, it'll come up.
That's right.
Jungle Disc maybe.
Tell me a little bit about building the technology behind backups. What's that like?
For me, it's Xcode. We're a cross-platform app, and I focus on the Mac stuff. But
Xcode is the tool that you use?
The Apple IDE for development environment, we use like WX widgets to help us provide the cross-platform GUI, just really because we're cross-platform, we try to stay with. We use things like SQLite for databases, and there's also a lot of home-built stuff in there too.
In a lot of ways, we kind of bring all of the best-in-class solutions under one house. So things like paying only for what you use. We are all three platforms, so we're Windows, Mac, and Linux. And a lot of times customers think they're diehard Windows users, and I was one of those a long time ago, and then about a year ago I became a Mac user. Well, the cool thing is I didn't have to learn a new interface or anything. I used Jungle Disc exactly the same way, and I got access to all my files exactly the same way.
Yeah, I use I use Windows and Mac on my desks at home.
Now you can tie all those together.
I'm going to build an Android app, by the way, soon. I'm sure you're going to get.
Well, the cool thing is, even with our web access component, that's one thing we didn't talk about. We have a web access component, so if you don't have Jungle Disc installed on your computer or a computer, you're at a buddy's house and you want to share a photo of your daughter or your whoever, you can get access to all of your data online as well without having the software installed.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think we have multiple products, as we kind of talked about. So we have Simply Backup, which is just a straightforward backup product. We have a desktop edition product. And the cool thing about how we license our desktop product compared to a lot of all-you-can-eat users, competitors out there, is that we license it to you. People have 3, 4, 5 computers, so you can install Jungle Disc on as many computers as you have across all those machines. And of course, our server edition product, which is a pretty big step for us as far as backing up servers. And the cool thing about all those products is you can mix and match, and you can connect to the same data. So if you're using the desktop edition and you're also using the server edition, you can get to that data regardless of what product you're using.
Yeah. So our challenge is to get people to copy their data 3 times, right? And that's still tough. I know a lot of people who don't do, even for our videos. By the way, let's talk about video, because these video files we're storing right now are probably 4 to 10 gigabytes.
Right.
And it's really, really difficult to upload that, because I only have a 2 megabit line from Comcast. So
that's better than most.
Getting it from my computer to your data centers is really, really difficult.
Well, what the other challenge that we have is and Dave Wright, the founder of the company, said it best. People have a hard time paying for something they hope they don't have to use.
Yeah.
So online backup, or backup in general, is something that people kind of don't really think about until it's too late. So we have a lot of great stories about people that have come to us after the fact. Our challenge is to help educate people and get them to us before they lose their data. I got to share a really cool story with a Jungle Disc user. Was actually a college student, and for whatever reason, he had a backup job of his computer and was running like every 5 minutes, which is a little over the top, but it worked for him, I guess. 10 o'clock in the evening, and he was working on his term paper that was, of course, due at midnight that night. And he was in a common area working on his term paper, and went to get a drink or something back, or went back to his room, and he came back and his laptop was stolen. And so he didn't fret, so he went over to a buddy's room and got onto web access and had backed up his term paper to about 5 minutes previous to that, and grabbed his term paper and got it turned in on time, and Jungle Disc saved the day, which was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Well, thank you so much. Where do we learn more? JungleDisc.com?
JungleDisc.com, yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for inviting us out, and thanks for sharing your office.